Was it a perfect game? Nope. Will I take the performance and the scoreline? Absolutely. I want to leave a game feeling like we could have scored more than to leave a game with a huge scoreline and then lamenting the performance. Is there something to improve in this performance? Absolutely. But how will I grade the first half and the second half? I left the game feeling good about myself. That is how we breathe and see the game as coolers. Unlike the two performances we gave in the previous games, this one, I'll gladly take it. While the scoreline is modest, it could have been really bad for ELCHE. If we were on the top of our game, if we had put on our finishing boots, it would have been a devastating result for ELCHE. This game just made me reminisce about the Real Sociedad game, where we couldn't convert our chances even though we played fairly and excellently well. We created tons and tons of chances. A lot of players were bad in front of goal and were unlucky. Not all was their fault, but a good number of chances could have been converted. So this game, I'd say it's alright. I'm not rambling and being angry like the previous matches where I've played in the past week, because this game was a performance worthy of FC Barcelona. So I'll say kudos to the players, those who performed well, and we'll talk about them. So we can see the match game statistics. We had about 61% of the possession, and the expected goals was 6.24. We were expected to have scored at least 6 goals in this game, which I would say is fair, but I think it could have been more because some chances were wow. See, we created about 7 big chances. When last did we watch a BARCELONA game where we missed about 7 chances? I know the La Real game comes to mind, but I'll take it, man. The performance was good. Almost everybody played relatively well, but we need to put on our shooting boots, man. We're at a point in the season where we need to be more clinical and more hungry in front of goal. We hit the woodwork a couple of times, and relatively, I'll just say the game was all good. And I would like to discuss each of the individual players, so let's see how they performed. From Juan Garcia. Juan Garcia had a relatively quiet game today. With what he has shown us, I feel he could have done better with Alvaro Rodriguez's goal. Personally, because of the standard he has set, it was a one-on-one, but I would not say it's a bad thing that he didn't save it, but it was more of a finish than a lack of save from Juan Garcia. The finish was an excellent finish from Alvaro Rodriguez. I just feel due to the standard that he has set, when you are used to a particular standard from someone, you expect him to save everything, but he had a relatively quiet game and he did what is expected of him. His distribution could have been a lot better than it is. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't the excellence we have come to expect from him, but he did relatively okay, and I think his rating was somewhat deserved. He did calm some nerves towards the end with some team shots from ELCHE striker, but he did quite well. Kunde had right. Compared to how he has been performing in the season, I think he did average today. He did good to average. He was okay. I'm really surprised with Kubarsi's rating today. He was quiet, even though he didn't face a whole. There was nothing spotlighted that he did today. But there might be some reasons for him being rated this low. As for Eric, Eric had a good game today. He was all over Alvaro Rodriguez. He was all over ELCHE striker. He was the most active of all the centre backs. Even I think there was one key pass he gave Lamine. One long ball he gave Lamine from across the defense. He bypassed ELCHE's midfield. He was totally good today. Eric was totally good today compared to the last game he played. He was absolutely excellent. He was one of the best players in today's game. Balde too today was excellent. I know we've been on Balde and Kunde's matter this season, but he had a great game today. He was beating the press. But might I say that he's very essential to the way we play. We might knock him for not being good in the final third, for having problem with the final pass, but in the first phase of play, Balde is absolutely crucial and essential to the way we play, and I see why Flick loves him. He actually had a great game today, so I give kudos to Balde today. Today was a relatively quiet day for Fermin, and he was a culprit in some of those chances we missed. He missed about good chances today that I know Fermin on his day would have absolutely buried. But I mean, he can be afforded a day off. To have 10 goals and 11 assists so far this season, he has been one of our most consistent and reliable performers, so he had an off day today. I'm surprised as to why Footmob gave him a rating this high. Fermin Lopez had a quiet day, but I'll give kudos to him. Frankie is my honorable man of the match today. Frankie did everything right today except score, of which I think he needs to improve. He needs to become a good finisher, because if Frankie can learn to finish, I think he'll be in Ballon d'Or conversations. If you give performances synonymous to this throughout the season, I think he'll be a Ballon d'Or contender. That's how good he was today. He was good on his passes. He created about 5 big chances. He gave an assist to Ferran when he could have scored. He was just looking to give the final pass. He didn't have an eye for goal today. If he had scored today, I think he would have been the man of the match, not just an honorary one. But if he had won today's man of the match, I think it would have been well deserved. I think La Liga officially gave Lamine, and I think Lamine too was excellent today. But De Jong was good today. He completed so many passes. He was able to beat the press. He was organizing the midfield. He was doing his best today. And I think he didn't make us feel the absence of Pedri a whole lot. He was basically working for two in midfield today, because Olmo and Fermin were losing so many balls. They were not. Olmo in particular, let me not bring Fermin into this. Olmo in particular was playing the Pedri role, but I don't know why his rating was too high. Maybe it's because of the assist he gave. He gave an excellent assist to Lamine to open the scoring in, I think, the 6th minute. But apart from that, he lost so many balls. He's not a central midfielder. And I think the reason he was in starting 11 today is because Flick wants to make him feel important. Personally, that's how I see it. And he has had a good run of form. He has been scoring and contributing to the score sheet, so that's the reason he started. But I was expecting Bernal to start today, but almost starting today, while not ideal, is fair. But he didn't have a good game, if I'll be honest. He lost so many balls. He led the team. He he made the team vulnerable in the way he played. There was no awareness for his surrounding. He was losing a lot of balls in central areas that gave ELCHE the impetus to attack us more than they should have. He had an average game, and aside from his assist, he had an off day too today. Our two attacking midfielders had off days today. Lamine, I feel like I've not given Lamine a lot of praise. I feel like I've not given Lamine a lot of praise this season. Maybe it's because I've gotten to use his excellence after watching Messi for over 20 years in Barcelona, and I've become so used to excellence from our number 10, but it's not normal, and that is wrong of me and wrong of Kules. This is an 18-year-old kid who is clearly basically carrying the attack. Today was an excellent game from Lamine today. He also was not looking to score. He was looking to set the plate for his teammates. He's actually embodying the spirit of the number 10 that we have seen from Leo over his reign in the Camp Nou. I think Lamine is in another stratosphere when it comes to playing, and we have not given him the credit he deserves. I know he's well rated, but I still believe he's getting to that place where if he's a little bit more selfish than in front of goal, if he's obsessed with scoring, I think it's over for every other player. I think it will be over for every other player. If he was as selfish as Mbappe, if he had an eye as goal for goal, the way Mbappe does, I think nobody can chat to Lamine. He was absolutely excellent today. His man of the match was well deserved. It was well deserved. As for Ferran, I have my reservations. When Ferran doesn't play and Lewy plays, you beg for Ferran, and then you watch Ferran play, and then you know why, and then you ask for Lewy again. I don't know what's the problem with this guy. I know he was on the score sheet, but so many instances today he would have had multiple goals, and he could have done better. He had an average game, honestly. And I understand why some coolers were lamenting about him today. I understand why some coolers always lament about Ferran. But I mean, you just have to take him the way he is. 18 goals contribution so far for him this season. So, I mean, why would we be complaining about an 18-goal striker? That's because he could have been on at least 25 or 30 goals already if he was finishing all the chances that are being created for him. I don't know, there's something about Rafinha that isn't right. Since after the El Clasico in Saudi Arabia, the Super Cup final, he has been off. He hasn't been performing at his best. Today he was looking to pass in situations where we know he can score. But relatively, he had a quiet game, and he had to come off at halftime because he was complaining about his groin, his waist area. I don't know what it is, but I hope it's not serious because we are going to need him for the business end of the season. We might not need him for the Albacete game. Hopefully, there's nothing serious with Rafinha, and I hope the injury isn't going to be a serious one. I expect him to be rested for the Albacete game. Really, we have it covered. We have it covered. He just needs to rest up and be healthy because we have bigger challenges ahead. So I expect Flick not to play him for the next game. Now Rashford had an excellent game. He capped it with a goal that was created by Lamine, even though the assist wasn't Lamine's. Lamine saved a ball from going for throwing, and then he beat his man, and then he put the ball into the box. A defender tried to clear it, but Rashford was there to collect it, and then he rocketed the ball into the net. I think Rashford did well in the few minutes he played. He did absolutely well, and he has been doing well. So that's 2 goals for him in 2 games now. 1 free kick and then 1 fortunate rebound. Mabena needs to start more. He needs to start more games. He was good today. He was alright. He was alright. Lewandowski too was alright. If Lamine wanted him to score so desperately, but it wasn't his day to score today. Aroa and Casado were relatively alright and okay. Today was not perfect, but it was a good game. And this is how I want my team to play. I want to leave a game feeling like, okay, we could have scored more goals, and not leave a game feeling the performance was below par because we were struggling to string passes in most of our previous games. But in this, it wasn't that. We played a good game. We played a fine game. We just didn't have our finishing boots on. Anyway, I'll say that's great. If I'm to grade the match, I would say I'll give the match a 6.5, considering we performed below our expected goal. We're supposed to score at least 6 games. That was what the statistics said. But in my opinion, if we were very clinical, if this was the Barcelona that I know, we could have easily scored 10 goals in the game. Anyway, I'll take the win, and I'll take this performance over our previous 2 performances in a million mile. Great game from the boys, and our next opponent, Albacete, at their home. I know they will be dreaming of doing the impossible, knocking the El Clasico teams. They knocked out Real Madrid, but trust me, I don't believe lightning can strike twice. But I'll leave that for the game preview. Either ways, great game from the boys, great game from Hansi Flick. Please like this video and subscribe, and if you have any other comments about the game, drop it in the comment section, and I'll leave you by saying Visca el Barça.